This is a CC Radio podcast.
Welcome to the Countdown Movie and TV Reviews podcast. I'm glad your asses joined our asses today. My name is Wayne.
And my name is Paul. Welcome to episode 201, which Wayne has forgotten to mention in the intro.
Also, it was episode 201.
Yeah, well done. Brilliant, as always. Welcome to the podcast. We count down movies and sometimes television in order of awesomeness so you don't have to. And today it's a very special episode, not just because it's one past episode 200.
It's a little cool.
200 episodes more than anyone thought we'd ever get to. It is an episode where we're welcoming back one returning guest and one new guest on the show.
Yeah.
From the Master Debaters podcast, the number one comedy podcast out of the Midlands in the UK. Please welcome Toffa and Sean from the show.
What's up, bitches?
Great to have you here. What is happening in the Midlands? How cold is it and how awesome is that part of the world?
It's fucking freezing. Yeah. Too cold. Too cold. I couldn't open my car door yesterday because it was so cold.
The inside of my... I had to scrape the outside and inside of my windscreen this morning.
Could not get in my car because it was that cold.
Damn!
It's awesome over here.
I have never seen snow.
You still haven't seen snow?
I still haven't seen snow. I've been places where it snowed, but it wasn't snowing while I was there. It's fucked up.
That sounds really sad. That's the saddest thing I've heard today.
This is a sheltered-ass life right here.
That's like someone saying, I've never seen a beach.
It is. It is. It's fucking Morgan Freeman. That's what this shit is. So.
For the very few, I think, listeners for our show who don't know much about the Master Debaters, tell us about the show, tell us where it's at, what's happening in 2019.
Well, we're back. We're better than ever. We never went away, actually. I don't know why we said we're back. We've revamped the show.
Sounds better if we say we're back, though.
Yeah, we do say it sounds better if we say we're back. People often ask this question. They say, go on, tell us what your podcast is about. And we always kind of struggle to come up with an answer because it's just us talking about, well, bullshit, really. But we just laugh, we joke, we tell stories, things that have pissed us off recently, things that have made us happy. We play games with each other. We often get very competitive and fall out in real life. Yep. Probably why there's only two of us now.
Listen to the Christmas episode.
Yeah.
It's awful. We just fall out with each other. It's just an hour and a half of us falling out with each other.
Oh, damn.
It's not even, and we can't even package it up and say it's it's part of the show. No, it wasn't. It genuinely was.
We genuinely
very awkward. We didn't talk for weeks.
All right, well,
I'm dialing it up now.
I had to sit and edit it, and I've cut most of it out because it was just too uncomfortable.
You have to relive it, like PTSD.
Yeah. But we love each other, really.
We do love each other.
I'm glad you added that part.
You guys are like Oasis.
we are. But everyone's Noel.
Yeah.
Everyone's not. Nice. Very nice. Well, if you haven't checked out the Master Debaters, please do so. Look, before we go any further, we have to give our traditional plug on the show for the Podcast Republic app.
I'm going to do it like this week.
Go on.
The Podcast Republic app is something you should use on your Android device to listen to our shit. Word. That's it.
And the Master Debaters shit.
And the Master Debaters shit.
Yes. And indeed all podcasts.
All the shit you listen to, do it on the Podcast Republic
as long as
app.
it's podcast-related shit.
Yeah.
Brilliant.
They only do,
Could they be
what
any
do you think? That's
more
smooth.
happy
It is
with that?
Smooth, son.
You forgot to mention robust.
Robust. Actually, I was going to leave that shit right the fuck off.
All right. A little bit of feedback. Last week was our 200th episode, gentlemen, and it was all about
well done, by the way. Well done.
Thank you very much. It was all about listeners. We got them to write in with their sort of top 10 favourite films, and we ranked them and put them all together. And then we had a good friend of mine and a listener to the show, Campbell, go away and do a little bit of statistical analyses about what people put in. We just did the vote ordering 10 through 1, 1 through 10, inverse scoring. He managed to come out with a directometer, which basically is awarding the best director based on the whole list, not the top 20, all 385 films. Do you want to take a stab at what the number one director was according to all of our listeners?
Ooh.
Master Debaters.
Okay. Ooh, I don't know. I'm trying to think of like quite artsy.
Nolan.
Very close. That's number 2.
Good call.
Oh,
and
I think with Scorsese behind because he's. I don't know. Because I don't know.
What are you going with, Sean?
Go on. Throw one out, Sean.
I'm gonna go classic. I'm gonna say Spielberg.
Correct.
I would have said Spielberg.
Well done. You won. You have won absolutely nothing except our
Adoration.
That
shit ain't cheap.
Yes.
That,
one
the
by a
gift that
lot.
keeps on giving.
Yes. One by a lot. Steven Spielberg, Christopher Nolan first, second, and then James Cameron third, and QT Tarantino in fourth. And then
not bad.
Also very interesting, I thought, he also went ahead and did the decometer. So
What's that?
what was the most what decade was most represented in the list. So
Ah.
going all the way back to the 30s up until the 2010s, what decade had the most number of films represented in these 385 films voted by listeners? Wayne?
If you're talking about our listeners, I'm going to say the 90s.
All right. What about the master debaters? Do you have any advancements on the 90s?
I think maybe the 80s.
I would say 80s.
Good point.
All right. Very, very close. Wayne actually has it right, which he
Wow.
should do. It's our listeners. The
I
90s
totally guessed.
was the most represented. Then the noughties, 2000, 2009.
Yeah.
And then the 80s coming in third. So there you go.
Yes, we have a
I'll take
young...
that. I'll take third place.
Campbell did an incredible amount of work, and indeed, then in the 1990s, 1994 was by far the most represented year. In other words, for our listeners, the best year in film ever was 1994.
Damn straight.
Shawshank, Pulp Fiction, Shakespeare in Love.
Forrest Gump.
Wait, no, that's 1998. Forrest Dump.
Forrest
Oh,
Gump is
God.
great. Fuck you, Paul.
Thanks, Toffa. Thank you for bringing
you,
the
man.
vibe with the show
Yes,
right
bring
down.
it up. Bring it up, man.
You're welcome.
Shut up, Edison. Bloody hell.
All right, thank you so much to Campbell for that. Then very quickly, from the Dumb Guzzler podcast, boy, speaking of Forrest Dump,
Fuck, what?
this is directed at you, Wayne. Likes Gump. Star Wars isn't his jam. Wayne Aruzu felches donkeys.
How the fuck did he know? Anyway, so... All right, well, I understand.
And then we
Sure.
did a bit of an experiment last week. And Virtual Paul made an appearance mocking Virtual Wayne. Bitch, please.
Okay, now listen, I got... First of all, I got some feedback about this shit.
No, so did I. And that's the point is, that's the last you're ever going to hear of Virtual Paul.
Well,
Because as Julio from The Contrarian said, Virtual Paul makes me uncomfortable.
yeah, it's not great. But also, I heard from at least one listener that...
Who shall remain nameless?
Yes, this listener did not know that you were doing sound drops of your name. Of you talking. So she said, that was really flat. I'm like... You know, it was sound drops. Oh, I thought he was just saying it. I'm like, See, because Paul doesn't know to talk over his own sound drop so that people know that it's a sound drop. I don't know why, but he ain't got that shit down, man. I don't know. Take it back! So, yeah, okay, that wasn't mine. But
There we are. That's all the feedback on episode 200. Thanks to everybody who got involved with that. But today's topic, we haven't even announced it.
yeah, what
Top
is it?
10 prequel ideas. So this was one you guys came up with and we quite liked.
I love this one, man.
Prequels are a really bad idea as a general rule because Hollywood keeps making shitty prequels.
They keep making money.
Yes.
Do you guys have any particular examples of prequels that you just think are ridiculous?
I didn't enjoy Solo. I thought that was...
I did not
did.
either.
No,
You did? Yeah.
I didn't enjoy it.
I
No.
enjoyed Solo.
Oh.
I don't think Han Solo needed to speak Wookiee. He could show that he understood Wookiee. He didn't need to show that he fluent in it. The fact that in 3 films he never once uttered a single word of Wookiee.
Yeah.
Or Wookonian.
I am all for Woody Harrelson being in more films.
I've got no issue with Woody Harrelson being in there. And I think, to be fair, I think a Solo film wasn't bad, but it's just I think the way they went about it was bad.
I couldn't
I
buy
agree.
him. I couldn't buy him.
It was all about the Easter. It was all about the knowing nods to the fans.
Yeah, but like I just couldn't buy that kid is
Alden
fucking...
Ehrenreich.
Yeah, and also we know what Harrison Ford looks like at 35. It was in Star Wars. So like, what the fuck?
It's true. Anyway, for all these reasons and more, prequels are generally considered a bad idea. So we're going to correct that today. Between the two of us, we're going to present to you, the listener, the best prequel ideas that we can come up with as a team.
Yeah, it's a pitch, mate. It's a pitch.
It is the elevated pitches of those ideas and then probably the merciless mocking of each other's ideas if previous episodes are anything to go by.
If we're lucky.
Yeah. All right. Well, on the other side, we're going to get to it on the other side of this music cue. Top 10 prequel ideas for films. Master debaters, did you have problems with this list or was it very, very easy for you to come up with a list together?
We started off a little bit slow. We had like a pre-meeting, didn't we? Which is the first time we've ever done a pre-meeting.
First
for a
time
podcast.
ever.
Wow. Before. So we sat down and started doing it. And then, but to be fair, once we got started, we ended up with over, didn't we? We ended up with like 13 or 14. So we've had to cut back with some honourable mentions.
Yeah. To be fair as well, when we met up, we only had one of the same film in our list.
Yes.
Shit. Oh,
So it must have been. We found it hard to decide what the order was going to be and the like, but we gave it our best stab. So we do
Yeah.
understand. Well, as is tradition on the show, we let the guests lead away. What is your number 10 prequel idea?
Okay, so our number 10 is a prequel to Pulp Fiction. Titled John Travolta in France. So recast John Travolta. Don't fuck about with the casting.
Vincent Vega
It's Vince
in France.
Vega.
You got to recast him.
And it's just him now. And then just basically it's him walking around Amsterdam and Europe doing all various drugs. Maybe he falls foul of a local crime gang and he has to kind of John Wick himself through it.
No, it's just him being confused in Burger King.
Yeah, just him being confused in Burger King. Yeah. No, Royale with cheese.
Mayonnaise?
What's the metric system?
What is
that shit?
And then he shoots someone.
Mayonnaise? What, tomato ketchup sauce?
Yeah.
Because I'm not going to lie to you, boys. I'd watch that.
100%.
I would too.
Oh, guys, we've got one on our list. It's not
Yes.
quite that,
We've
but
got
it's
something similar.
It's something
We're
similar.
circling similar terrain.
We'll expand on it when it comes through. Very good call.
Yeah, we like it. Like it a lot.
The only thing we've mentioned as well at the end is that he'd be picked up by Jules at the end in the car, and you give him a seat and say, "Put this on, we got a job."
Nice.
And then it hit with the Pulp
So it
Fiction
goes
music.
all the way to current day or whatever.
Yeah, full.
That's pretty
Full circle, like Rogue One, full circle.
Very nice. No, I like it. That's a great.
pimp.
Very nice. All right, well, Wayne, you are all about our number 10, and I liked it. It's a good choice.
All right, our number 10 is a weird one. It is a prequel to the Karate Kid, but it follows Mr. fucking Miyagi, okay? So it's like, how does he become a karate master? I'm thinking you see him as a young man in Okinawa, and he's just, he's hanging around, he's being Japanese with his friends and stuff. And then, like, I don't know what that's how it is. That's what they do. So then he meets, like, the woman
Lots of bearing.
So he meets the chick he falls in love with, which is referenced in The Karate Kid, and it becomes like a weirdly Asian retelling of The Karate Kid, but not quite, because in this one, it's like some asshole kung fu dude that kicks his ass, and then Miyagi has to learn how to fight so he can bitch slap the guy, but then it becomes like not just a beat-for-beat version of Karate Kid, there's something way bigger about the film, like his dad. I don't know, Miyagi's dad was a ninja, and he once put a load in the bad guy's mother, and then they might be brothers or some shit.
I think you're missing the important point, which really sold me on it. And the important point that you sold me on was that Miyagi, unlike Daniel-san, kills his opponent.
Yes. Miyagi busts more ass than Daniel, and that's why he's like, Daniel, you're a bitch when he comes down to like the Karate Kid. And that's why he did his crane kick, because he crane kicked the tits off someone real hard. And that's how he killed someone.
That's exactly how we should describe it.
Exactly. And so,
Well, which, of course, when he does that, and this is essential, do you think in a 40s set, that'd be about right? 40s set,
Japan.
sort of,
so pre-war Japan.
or sort of during the war.
Almost.
Do we have room for Miyagi to have this song?
It'll be like this, it'll be a 1920s swing version of that.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah, just make it more Asian, and then we'll go.
Oh yeah, sorry, Japanese
cover.
swing.
Is it the Go Go Go's or the ones that are from Kill Bill? They're like a Japanese punk
5,
band,
6,
aren't
7,
they?
8.
Sorry, was
Just
that
getting
a
them to
thing?
do it.
Yeah, that's who did the song, but they're called the Crazy 88s, the people they fought against. Yeah.
Ah, yes, I remember. Oh, that was
There you
good.
go.
All right, well, that's our
Nice.
number,
That's our number 10.
10. Yeah.
That's a solid number 10, to be fair.
Thank you.
I'm worried. That's a big 10.
I have never seen The Karate Kid.
Dude! Really? Actually,
No.
How did you learn to fight bullies at school?
I just got beat up because I was fighting Ginger, so.
How have you not seen the karate? I know you do the whole "was it worth it," but Toffa, that's ridiculous.
Hey, wait, how old are you, son?
I'm 29.
Damn,
Bad,
T-Bone,
isn't
you're
it?
young.
That's
See,
bad.
he might be like it might be too
Plenty old enough to know better.
Yeah, no, I'm surprised.
When did it come out?
Ooh,
84.
84, yeah.
See, now I'm going to upset a lot of people now, but I struggle a lot with 80s films.
Ooh, controversial.
This is one of the hardest things about our friendship.
Yeah,
I understand.
Sean rims the 80s out, and I have a lot of trouble with some of the. I just don't like the look of them. Like, I watched Gremlins for the first time.
I know what
at
you.
Christmas.
Yeah, actually, you've reminded me of something.
Cash?
You've reminded me of something that really upset me. You didn't like
okay.
Predator.
No, I
Oh, okay. You know what it is? It's it's the film stock you don't like, because that's actually shot on film. It's actually a lot grainier. It's a different fucking frame rate and all that sort of shit. If you don't like that look, I get it, because you probably did. You watch a lot of movies in the 80s, or were you a zygote?
I was born in 89. So.
See, there you go. That's what it was. Like you never connected with it because it was never your time. I get it.
There
Man.
you go. Thank you, Wayne.
One
Thank
guy
you for
took it.
understanding.
I'm hurt. I'm still hurt. All right, anyway.
Yeah, no, I don't get it either.
Yeah, thank you, Sean. You're number 9, guys.
Okay, this one is all me.
Okay.
I would like to see my personal favourite prequels are prequels of something that's got a lot of history. Like a book is usually a good thing to do, because if a film comes out and it's got a book about it and they leave a lot of stuff out, there's lots of stuff just left on the table that can be picked from.
Oh yeah.
So that's what we're going to do. We're going to pick the bones of it, but we're going to call it Pennywise.
Okay. All right. I'm down.
Ooh. I see.
There's no gangbangs. No gangbangs.
Yeah.
Solid start.
Thanks for that. Thanks for that.
We'll ignore that.
Very wise.
I had hoped that wouldn't be the part you picked up and said, "This is the whole movie." Kids gonna get a bang
the
bang.
movie off.
Right. So if anyone's read the book, it's like it takes you about a year to read it because it's about 5,000 pages.
Oh, really?
But the most interesting thing about the story for me, obviously the weird clown that kills kids and whatever,
Not the best.
but there's a lot of history of the actual town of Derry, Maine. There's a lot of history about it, and Stephen King refers to it all throughout the book. And it's so vast. It's all cocaine fueled, so a lot of it doesn't make sense.
Yeah, absolutely. Are you guys big Stephen King fans?
I am.
You are?
Yeah, we both.
So do you watch
Yeah.
Castle Rock and stuff?
That's what I wanted to tell you to watch. I couldn't think of the name of it the other day. That's what I was trying to tell you to watch.
Oh,
Yes.
what's that?
Yeah,
Very good.
Yeah, it's like
Yeah. Huge fan base here.
In the book, there's a little story, and it's not that long. I think it's about a chapter about the Bradley gang. Yeah, it's a story of a gang who used to rob and murder store owners in 1929. And at some point, the residents of the town had enough. They rose up and they massacred them in the street.
Well, okay.
And there's a bit in it, and this is one of the images that when I read the book when I was younger stuck with me. And in the book, as the massacre's happening, one of the store owners looks across to one of the shops, and Pennywise is standing like Spider-Man would if he walks up a wall.
Yeah. Ugh.
He's standing on the wall with a balloon in his hand, just laughing at all the murders. And I thought, that's fucking dark as shit, that is.
That would be a horrible thing to put on, and it'd probably be pretty cool for like you horror people.
Yep.
Yeah.
I wouldn't even explain it. I just have him in there
So essentially, it's a gangster film,
with a clown.
but just occasionally.
Yeah.
Okay.
Pennywise just just walks past the screen, just
Buys some
waves.
gum.
And there you go, yeah.
He's in the bar.
But it's like a gritty early 1900 gangster film.
Who would you get to play him?
Who?
Pennywise?
Tim Curry can't really, can he?
Oh, same dude.
I'd do
Bill
it, mate.
Skarsgård, surely.
Chair and everything.
Bill Skarsgård could do it, yeah. I don't know. I like early gangster films, and I just think this is a good universe to set it in, like a Stephen King themed gangster film. I think could work.
Like Scorsese meets King.
Yeah, but you'd put like old characters of Stephen King's in the book.
When they were
You
young.
make lots of
very
lots
cool.
of references and stuff like that. So yeah,
Andy Dupree.
Oh yeah.
Someone could drop, I'm just come from the Overlook Hotel.
yeah,
Like, little things
yeah.
like that.
they're building a hotel right now. That was built in like the 20s.
It was, yeah.
That's
All
what
right,
Castle
all
Rock's
right.
like.
No, not bad at all. And then you'd call it Pennywise, even though he's not the major character.
Yes,
That's the name that gets people
because
to
you want
the
to
door,
sell.
isn't it?
You want to
wanna
sell,
tickets,
tickets,
Paul.
Absolutely.
Okay.
I mean,
all
you
right. Do you
stated
think you might be
afterwards,
upsetting the audience?
But
okay, no.
you could do like a Pennywise backstory. You
To
could
be fair-
explain the clown because
Good.
he's this weird being created by some sort of fucking turtle. But I
Yes.
don't think people have got that.
Like, to be fair, if you're following the pattern of
Dark
prequels,
Tower.
you've got a lot of hype for an established product which left even disappointed.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, boom. That's
Yeah.
a prequel.
You call it
Terry
the,
Pratchett.
you call it the Bradley Gang Massacre or something
Okay.
like that.
Yeah, there we go.
Yeah.
All right, very nice. Number 9, very good. Our number 9, very different.
Yours, Paul.
Yes, I brought this one to the table, which Wayne was okay with.
No, I had this on an honorable mention, but I'm on board with this one. Go ahead and hit it.
So you might remember, maybe you guys remember a film from the 90s called The Professional, or Leon the Professional in some circles.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes, I remember
So
that film.
a prequel with obviously a much younger Jean Reno cast as, how does he come to be the guy he is? Who taught him to be so good? Where does he learn his skills? What's this woman that Danny Aiello's character sort of
Yes.
chastises him about during the movie? And it'd be great to see all that happen, him to become this great pro. And it could tackle all that as long as Luc Besson did not touch it with a fucking million.
You think he couldn't make this good again?
No.
You think he couldn't? No, he's over.
Fuck Luc Besson.
Really?
Yeah.
Is it the Fifth Element that got to you?
And everything since.
Everything since.
Including Valerian and the City of a
Oh,
Thousand
fuck that piece
Pricks.
of shit.
Yep.
Yeah. Oh, have you guys seen that? It's such a fucking urine sample. It's like the worst shit ever.
It's fucking awful.
The worst. Oh, God.
It is. So that very simple. That'd be a film that we would like to see a prequel to. People talk about the sequel to it, like let's get Matilda back. Natalie Portman now as an adult. She's the right age.
Look, I'd fucking watch the shit
I'll
out of
watch
that
that
movie.
too.
I would watch the flaps
Why
off
not?
it.
Let's shoot them back to back.
I know. All right. All right.
All right, very simple, straight to the point. Back to you guys for your number
No, I
8.
like that.
Okay.
Sean,
right.
thank you.
I'm going to jump on this one because people like John Wick.
Oh,
No, it's not John Wick though.
Don't
Chill
get
out.
excited.
People like the Equalizer. People like that Equalizer film.
no.
Oh, God.
Shut up. People do, Wayne.
Are you sure?
I've never seen it, but people do.
Ooh.
People like Taken. People like that
Yes,
one man.
That's
Taken's
true.
good.
That's true.
Solving shit. People love that, right?
True.
So now, you take away the martial arts, you take away the CIA training, and you put a gun on his dick.
That's right.
You've got a sex machine film.
That's what we're doing.
Oh, From Dusk Till Dawn. Prequel.
We want to see a sex machine.
Sex machine.
Film before he gets to the bar. Maybe the film is him going to the bar and he's got to like, I don't know.
Fight loads of people on the way.
Yeah.
All I want to see him take the gun off his penis and replace it with a bazooka. That's all I want to see. A bazooka dick at one point in the film.
Bazooka dick gun.
Like Machete, but like more like classier.
Oh,
It's
this
Machete
is.
with a
I
dick
can't believe
gun.
Paul didn't already think of this one.
So you're talking. You want a young Tom Savini.
Yeah.
Sorry,
The-
we'll just say, for listeners who are not familiar with From Dusk Till Dawn, there's a character in it who is a bearded white man, Tom
Yes,
Savini.
Tom Savini.
Okay.
Makeup artist extraordinaire.
That's
FX,
right.
FX
Is that
artist.
so?
Yeah.
Okay, well, he has an apparatus on his Johnson. No, sorry, it's more like a strap-on leather thing, and it basically is an automatic dick. Like it pops up, and it's a gun as well, so you can actually shoot people from the dick. And that's his name is Sex Machine.
Oh, sex machine.
Mom, sex machine. Every scene's he's got a new dick gun.
Yeah, all the baddies would have names that like were references to dick. So you'd have like Mike Johnson.
Yeah.
It'd be one big
Bill
dick
Shaft.
joke. Yeah, Bill Shaft.
Yeah.
One big dick joke. But I would watch the shit out of it. I'm not gonna lie to you. I would pay money to go see that. I would.
Machete with a dick gun.
And is he battling vampires? No, because he hasn't come across them yet. It have to be a prequel, of course.
doesn't.
Maybe zombies. Maybe it's something. Zombies. The zombie thing's gone now, isn't it? The zombie craze.
No, he's just battling Mexicans.
Maybe werewolves.
Yeah, Mexicans. Just Mexicans.
He's battling Mexicans.
Mexican werewolves.
There you go. There you go. That works. They're called something. Chupacabras? Chupacabras.
There you go.
Yeah,
That's a good one.
Chupacabra.
There you go. Paul would be in there. Actually, I would watch that too. Not bad. This is a pretty good one, fellas.
That's good.
That was pretty
very
good.
nice. Well played, gentlemen. Our number 8 then, Wayne, is, I believe, all you.
Yes, it is. Now, fellas, I don't know how you'll feel about this, being that you're from the UK and whatnot, but
Okay.
It will not be on your list.
no. Well, this is the thing. If you're, let's say, a 44-year-old Asian male, you have come from a family. I have come from
we
a
go
family
again.
that really likes James Bond, man. My mom used to
Okay,
always,
okay.
yeah. My mother's insult to me was, "You know, you're not James Bond. You know." That's what she fucking says to me. Okay?
What?
Yeah, that's what. This is,
What? I need some context.
Yeah, that's
What are you
right.
trying
My
to
mother.
do?
I'll tell the
that?
story. The guys know this, but I'll tell the story. One time when I was like 26, my mom's like, "So have you got yourself a girlfriend yet?" And I'm like, "No, I haven't."
Is
Right?
your mom a robot?
No, she talks like this because she's kind of
Mom
fucking
boxing
Asian,
baby.
right?
She's kind of
She's
Asian.
a lot Asian. But it's Singapore Asian is slightly different. It's not, yo, Mato, it's not that. It's a little different.
Right.
Anyway. And then I said, no, I haven't. And she says, you know, you're not James Bond, you know, because that is her way of saying, you, my friend, are unattractive. Stop being so picky. That is what Asian mothers are very honest. So anyway, to get onto this, I want a James Bond prequel, okay? I want to know how his ass turned into MI6 fella. Now, in Casino Royale, they touched on the moment where he turned into a 00 by capping his second or third guy. But before that, he was a commander in a submarine shit place. How did he get to be fucking sweet at fucking espionage after that shit? He was in a damn... I think this is his fertile storytelling ground. And also, I'm thinking, like, we also employ a young, sand-haired, colored Brit to play young James Bond. It'll be...
Okay.
It won't be the black-haired guy. It'll be
Daniel
fucking
Craig
Daniel
version.
Craig James Bond, yeah. That's what I'm thinking.
Like it?
That's good.
Like it? I have. That's another one. I've never seen a James Bond film.
Holy shit! What the hell, man?
You're upsetting a lot of people today, Toff.
Dog. At least hit GoldenEye, son. Take it back. God damn it.
I'm trying my best. I'm watching. I thought I was doing quite well watching films, but
You know what,
I looked at Paul's
start-
number and he's fucking raping me.
Start with Casino Royale. Just fuck everything. Just start with Casino
Yeah,
Royale.
yeah. Probably the good.
But
Probably
just remember
the way to
that
go.
when you start going backwards from
Yeah,
Casino
it's all
Royale,
downstairs
it
from
gets
there.
less realistic.
Right.
The further back you go, it starts getting a bit not slapstick. That's the wrong term, but yeah,
May as well be.
It's getting a bit zany.
Watch.
Okay.
The only Brosnan one to watch is GoldenEye.
Yeah.
Okay. Then
That's
just
fair.
fucking move on to whoever.
All right. Well, once we've exposed Toffa's lack of Bondness.
Okay, so obviously that's not on there, but yeah, I love that shit.
All right,
Anyway,
back to you guys for your 7.
Okay.
Okay, so our number 7 is a bit of a throwback. Again, to a better era, a golden era of films.
I have just shit on 80s films, but we're about to talk about one that I don't mind.
Nice.
So we all know the character Snake Plissken.
Oh,
Escape from New York. Well, how did he become that? Straight away, we're going to cast Kurt Russell in the role.
Yeah, 100%.
Just because we can. Even though it's a prequel and he's older. But no, who's going to play him?
We'll spend all of our budget on that Marvel CGI shit.
On the CGI stuff.
What, you're gonna young him up?
De-young him. Okay.
Yeah.
But no, but the Snake touches in the films about how the army betrayed him and he turned to crime afterwards. So it'd be about following him about his training as a special agent, some of the missions, how it all went bad, how he was betrayed, left for dead, revenge mission, turning to crime, showing how he lost his eye.
Oh yeah,
and lots of surfing, lots more. as much surfing as we can get into the film as we possibly can. And
then meanwhile in the background, like America's going to shit.
Yeah, man. You know what would be cool about that shit? Even if you've like seen New York, imagine walking out of a building and all of a sudden fucking helicopters come down and they just go, right, we've actually declared New York a prison fucking island now. So everyone in here is fucked. And then that's a pretty good movie.
I like it. I had not thought that
This
at
is
all.
a good one. This is not bad, fellas.
He's a character that absolutely we could see a whole heck of a lot more well played.
Nice work, son.
Thank you.
More
We
Kurt
enjoyed that
Russell.
one. More Kurt Russell.
Yes, there's no.
Oh, we love Kurt Russell.
We love Kurt Russell around these parts. Our number 7 was my kind of idea, and it's pushing the prequel envelope a little bit. So
complex.
bear with me here as I try to explain it. So,
no.
Edge of Tomorrow is a pretty good film. I think most people agree.
I enjoyed that.
Film.
Yes,
Tom Cruise vehicle, yes?
that's
Oh,
the one.
yes.
Tom Cruise. Have you seen it, Sean?
Right.
I have seen it. It's very good. Very
It's
good.
the balls, right?
So we're all on the
Enjoyed it
same
a lot
page.
more than I thought I would.
Yeah, I think that's exactly where I land on it too. Is a really good film. And in that film, he basically kills this alien that infects him with its ability to to bounce back 24 hours in time. So in this film, it starts out as a sequel, and he kills another of these brain bugs or leader
the big
bugs,
thing,
whatever they're called. And now he's killed 2 of them. It propels him way further back in time. So all the way back to let's say 10 years back to start with, and when the alien warfare it's picking up steam. And then every time he dies, he flashes back further in time, getting closer and closer to becoming a zygote.
Yes.
And so
He can't die too many times.
he can't die like the first film. He can't just die 100 million times over.
That's right.
He has to find a way to resolve this. And he keeps bouncing back into his timeline when he was a cretin and a coward.
But
Everyone treats him that way.
But here's the rub. Every time he goes back in time, it's a younger actor. Double up. Blam, blam.
So we start with Tom Cruise, and we end up with the very, very young 10-year-old Tom Cruise.
Yeah. I mean, look, here's the thing. He can't go back 10 years every time he dies.
No, not
It's going to
10
be like
years.
fucking 1 year
Yeah,
or
but
a year
the
and
first
a half.
one is, I don't know.
Yeah, well, we'll get to it. We'll get to it.
So it ends up being, it's still flashing into his timeline, so we get to see how everyone thinks he's a weak prick, basically, because that's what he was to start the film. And then he has to kind of overcome all that and get people on side every single time until he finally gets it right. And, of course, saves the day.
Nice. I mean, what do you think?
Okay.
Boom.
It's complex, but it's we'll get
time
more
travel
into
films are always good. People always get that.
Yeah.
You could you could throw in a few things that like paradox.
That's
Loads of paradoxes.
Lots of time paradoxes in this one.
Very good.
Fertile ground.
Oh, yeah.
I love the first
I mean,
Edge of Tomorrow.
It would have to be basically Nolan doing it, so it works.
Or Doug Liman again. Why not?
I don't know how. Yeah, okay, right. Lightning strike twice. I don't know. Okay, so yeah, there you go. What was that? The Edge of Yesterday.
Yeah, I'm calling that one The Edge of
That's a
Yesterday.
good film.
Oh,
great.
nice. It's a good title as
You
well.
could as well. You could. His final sacrifice would he has to do one more jump, and he ends up as a sperm.
Yep.
And he loses this time. Some other
And he has
juice
to, he
bomb.
has to fight. Yeah, he has to let another sperm take the win, because that person will save humanity. It's the ultimate sacrifice. They're never being born.
Just Tom Cruise's face on a sperm.
Yeah.
Help me!
Sounds like a dream I had.
All right, number 6 is
What sells a film more than opening with a
Titties.
suicide?
Oh,
Titties.
right,
Titties
right.
work. Strong. Let's go. Early suicide in a film.
Ooh, okay.
Bear with me.
Go on.
We find out that this depressed, bit of a troublemaker who offs himself turns into Beetlejuice.
Oh, good.
Beetlejuice.
I want to see the early days of the Ghost of the Most. How did he become the Ghost of the Most? How did he end up falling out with everybody? How did people... Because he falls out with everyone and nobody likes him, and he's cast out How did that happen? And did he really do all the things he said he did? Did he watch The Exorcist loads of times? Let's just watch him watching it once. That'll do, mate.
That's like, you want to film Michael Keaton sitting on the sofa
watching
watching
The
The Exorcist.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Can you guys get me Michael Keaton? Because if he's in, I'm in.
With all the makeup, I guess you could probably get
You
away
could
with it.
totally have Michael Keaton do this still.
All right, okay, that's good.
100%. Either Michael Keaton or Sam Rockwell.
Sam Rockwell can do
Rockwell's not bad
everything.
shout.
You're right.
Sam Rockwell
He
can do
could play the
anything.
alive him, couldn't
As
he?
long as he dances.
As long as he dances. I love watching that shit. Iron Man 2 was better because of that dance thing he did on stage. I'm telling you, man. I watched that scene over and over. Fan-fucking-tastic. The guy's a legend.
It's nice. I like it. Whose idea was this one, or was it both of yours?
This one's all me.
This one's more top.
Okay.
Yeah, he's a
one-
big Beetlejuice fan.
It's one of my favourite films. I love Michael Keaton anyway, because Michael Keaton's Batman. But
That's right.
I love Beetlejuice. But the one problem I've got with it, and I've still got this problem, and nobody's ever been able to answer me this question. In the film's called Beetlejuice. In the film, it's referred to as Beetlegeist.
Yes, now.
It's on his tombstone. It's on his business cards.
I got news for you, Toffa. In America, it was actually spelled Beetlegeist on the posters and in the fucking thing and everything like that. The idea being that you can't actually spell Beetlejuice because you can't say it because the motherfucker turns up. That's why they spell it Beetlegeist.
Ooh.
Yeah.
How does anybody know to call him Juice, though?
Yeah, it's a good point. I don't
That's
know
my
how
issue.
it was explained in the movie, I'm sure.
Imagine if you're a painter and decorator and you're like, on the side of your van's Beetlegeist.
Yeah.
Or your cards is Beetlegeist. But look, mate, when you need me, just say Beetlejuice. I can't explain why it's written as Beetlegeist.
It's ridiculous.
It's Beetlejuice.
It's bothered me since I was a little child.
There was
The only time he refers to himself as Juice is when he shows Lydia juice, like an orange juice. But
Yes,
how
that's
do they
right.
know to call him Juice?
Well,
Like,
that's
he's Geist on everything, even phonetically. It's Geist.
Yeah.
You put it in your phone, and it goes Betelgeuse. Don't give me that Juice shit. Just say his name. Oh, it bothered me. That's the one thing.
There's a moment in the film where Gina Davis says Beetlegeist like this because the point is it's misspelled on purpose so you don't say it accidentally.
That
and
makes
then
sense.
yeah,
That
and then he
makes
edits.
sense.
Yeah, so there's a thing to it. Give it another try. I happen to know this for some reason because I've seen this movie for some reason 200,000 times. I don't know.
Nice.
All right, there you go.
Did they ever say how old Lydia is in the film? 'Cause that's always bothered me.
Not old enough.
You know
Yes,
what bothered me?
That's the feeling I'm getting, that she's not old enough.
Yeah.
So, which always puts a bit of a dark spin on it. And in an
Oh,
already dark
yeah.
film.
Yeah. Plus,
It is
also,
very dark.
how's Gina Davis getting with Alec Baldwin? I don't think so.
Wayne is extraordinarily jealous
Come on.
Biggest
You
plot
can
hole.
do it. Yeah.
of Gina Davis.
Yeah.
Oh, it's
I
harsh.
enjoyed that.
All right.
All right, very nice. Again, a good choice. Our number 6 was also a bit of me, possibly low-hanging fruit here, but if you cast your mind back to a film that was made well before either of you two gentlemen were born, it was only right around the time we were born, to a
I've not seen
film,
it.
tiny little film called Jaws.
Jaws.
Did you just show my age?
Shit film.
I'm assuming your age. Did you say shit film?
I don't like Jaws.
Oh, person. I stand resolute, mother. That's Paul's fucking soundboard. Right?
Yeah. I don't like Jaws. I think
Wow.
it's boring.
Wow.
Wow.
All right. Once again,
You got
ladies and
balls,
gentlemen
son.
who are listening, vote
balls.
for us.
Right. Stop campaigning,
I've
Senator.
just lost. Yeah, I've just lost the stuff. Sorry, Sean.
You've lost.
Predator shit and Jaws is shit. Sorry.
Toffa
I
hates
can only apologise on behalf of the UK and for Toffa's comments in this episode.
Let's ignore Toffa and pay all attention to Sean then when I say that the prequel film to Jaws that we need is Quint's story of the USS Indianapolis going under in the water in 1945, being sunk. 1,100 men went to the water. 316 men came out. Sharks got the rest.
Yeah. So this would be basically this is Paul's version of that Blake Lively movie with the shark,
The Shallows.
The Shallows. Right?
But
Except there's like
but with
800 dudes.
1,100 dudes in the water.
1,100 dudes.
and generally speaking, 1,100 dudes does not equate to one Blake Lively in the water. So.
You're a fan, aren't you?
Okay.
Okay.
I like that. So
Has Blake Lively ever said herself that she's not a dude?
Did I just
you just
assume
assume
gender?
Are you assuming Blake Lively's gender?
I am a bit, but I never assumed Ryan Reynolds. I'm still hopeful he'll want to suck. Anyway,
Finish that sentence.
You might just ask if you ask it. You ask enough times nicely.
he's a
Chances
kind
are.
fella. So
Yeah.
who knows?
It might wear him down. What if I
Send
drink
me your
your?
gift to
What if I
charity
drink
or
your
something.
tequila forever?
Yes, I'll do that. No problem.
Yeah, I'd watch that though. I'd watch that like a survival
Wayne
thriller.
Sublet?
Yes. Yeah.
Oh yeah, well both, mate. Either. Either.
Now, I do want to
Trust it,
acknowledge they have made this film. It's called Men of Courage, and it stars Nicolas Cage. Would you fucking believe?
Is that so?
It only came out 2 years ago, and no one saw it. It was so bad. It was
They made this movie.
directed by Mario Van Peebles.
Oh damn!
That's a good
What's
name.
his name? What was that?
The
Posse.
Posse. Posse, shoot him up! Bang, shoot him up!
That's the shit.
It was so garbage that literally 1,300 people on Letterboxd have ever seen it, and you cannot find it. I've searched high and low
You
on the
can't find
internet
it?
to find this
They've
film
suppressed it then.
because I want to watch it.
Yeah.
Anyway, so I want to see a proper version with Quint, and there's no Quint in this version, but I want to see a film about Quint.
Oh, I see.
Yep.
Okay. All right. Nice one. Jaws.
Well, ignore Toffa's version. Sean, does that sound alright
Yeah.
to you?
Toffa
That
is
sounds
completely
brilliant.
valid.
I'm sure it'd be wonderful, Paul.
Ah, nice one. Okay.
Yeah.
Well,
We weren't gonna win this anyway, so
That was the approach we had writing all these. We just had a laugh at it, mate.
it's certainly the one I would have taken.
Yeah, fair enough. Yeah, when you're on a bad wicket, just fucking go for it.
It's basically my life. Number 5, fellas.
So our number 5, as I'm sure you guys are, I'm a big fan of the film The Matrix.
Yes.
I would love to see a prequel regarding Morpheus, still played by Lawrence Fishburne. There's a bit of a pattern emerging with all these prequels that I'm writing. That's
okay,
same
man.
actors.
Black don't crack.
About about his escape from the Matrix, about him meeting the One, still played by Keanu Reeves, and it's basically the exact shot for shot frame from the first film, but with the roles reversed. Okay. Where Lawrence Fishburne is the budding, apprentice, and Keanu Reeves is the one saying he's beginning to believe, and it's just.
Can we do one thing just for me?
What's that?
Can we cast somebody pretty to play the female lead?
Oh,
Yes,
Oh,
we will. That's the first
whoa!
thing
You
we'll
don't
do.
like Carrie-Anne Moss?
Oh, she looks like a bird.
Dude, I'd hit that. Really?
Oh,
Damn.
looks like an eagle.
It's like an eagle.
And for those playing at home, score check. The master debaters don't like Predator, Jaws, or Carrie-Anne Moss in The Matrix.
A quarter of the masturbation.
Not that quarter shit.
Okay, 50% of the masturbators doesn't like those films. 50% loves them.
Yeah, she's off the chain, man. Damn, T. All right,
The only reason that I'm okay with, Trinity being the way she is that she kind of matches Keanu Reeves in that sense. They're very similar.
They do look very similar when you think
I
about it.
agree. Yes.
That's why I think that's why they go well together. I think if you stick a different lead there, they wouldn't work as well. But and I'd genuinely watch a film or jokes about Morpheus and a bit more history of the Matrix.
Yeah, likewise.
A bit like the Animatrix, stick some of the stuff from that into it, and just fluff up the lore a little bit.
Well, Morpheus thought he was the one, and then he failed. So that would be a good movie.
Yeah.
Yes.
And then at the end of it, again, full circle. It ended with him starting to find someone called Neo, and that did,
But this time it would be an
I
ending
like
that you
it.
know. Yeah, that you can
I think it's a
understand.
good suggestion. Very nice, very nice.
Nice one, brother.
Thank you. Nice one, brother.
Do you want me to say another classic film shit now there that we've just...
Just pick something that's
Okay.
like Schindler's List.
We start
Schindler's List
we
is
start
the
winning them
worst
back. We start winning them back and then I'll just shit on a classic.
Yeah, just we did do a prequel about Schindler's List. We did discuss it, but it
Schindler's List.
It'd just be a load of happy people
Just
going
loads
about
of,
their
happy,
day-to-day lives.
loads of happy Jewish people
Loads
just
of happy
enjoy
Jewish
living
people.
in Germany.
Again, comes full circle at the end. Get out! And then that's it. Boom.
Oh, damn, that's funny. Okay,
But
well,
we didn't go for that one.
No, we didn't do that one.
No good. I'm glad you didn't.
Honorary mention.
okay, our number 5? Okay, our number 5 is a sequel to Friday the 13th, and it's called Thursday the 12th. I'm kidding. It's not.
That might be the lamest joke on the history
Fuck
of this
you,
show.
Paul didn't know that was going to happen, and I dropped it, man. What's up? That's how you work, baby.
you
Killed. All right, so our actual number 5 is shut up, bitch. Is a sequel to the movie Collateral, another Tom Cruise vehicle, where he plays a hitman who jumps into cabs and then forces the cabbie to drive him around to his various hits that night, and then presumably kills the cabbie. See, in this one, it's the origin of Vincent Tom Cruise, right? Yeah,
That's not his name.
That's
Tom Cruise.
Vincent Tom Cruise, all right? And he, in my version, in my version, he was actually a cabbie himself, where some hitman tried to pull that shit on him, but he's actually a killer. So what happened was...
Discuss this.
Shut up, motherfucker. All right. The point is, he learns throughout the night by copying the hitman how to actually kill and realizes he's a good hitman. And then at the end, he manages to dust this really wicked-ass hitman because he's a natural killer. But Paul, you had an alternate shake on it.
Yes, I did, and obviously I improved upon your...
Paul didn't want the cab. Paul thought the cab
Get rid
was
of
a
the
bit
cab.
shit.
The cab is shit. He just has a mentor who teaches him, and then he realizes he knows too much, and the mentor's ultimately going to kill him off as kind of like a final... And he has to beat his own mentor at his game.
Does it all happen in one night?
No.
Oh, it's going to happen in one night,
No.
Cracker. Oh, well. All right. Well, yes. Some variant of those two.
Collateral prequel.
Yes.
I'm going to go with the first idea. I'm not going to lie to you. I think the cabbie is the best way to go. I
Right,
enjoyed
you
that.
know.
I like the twist. I like the twist that
See,
he
this
kills
is how
the
we
cabbie.
pitch.
He kills the
Exactly.
assassin.
Right.
And then he could even put the assassin's body like in the cab and push it off a pier and then take up the mantle.
That's
of
right.
Vincent.
That's right. That's where he learned the trick, and that's why he does this shit now. And we won't call it collateral. We'll call it primary. I don't know. Whatever. Right? That's fucking great.
Jesus.
I'm selling
enjoyed
the
that.
tits off this. All right, fine.
Okay. All right. There we are. That's our number 5.
Nice one. What's your number 4,
Good
fellas?
shout.
Number 4, right. Okay. I'm going to set this one up for you.
Word.
It is the height of superheroes. They are rock stars.
Got it.
Everybody loves them. The prequel we want to see is the origin story of Lucius Best.
Who's
Frozone.
Oh,
Oh,
yes.
Frozo.
Very nice.
Oh,
One of
that's
the
from
this
The
is
Incredibles.
Matt for the crossover podcast suggested this in listener feedback. So very nice. You're tapping into a zeitgeist here.
Now, we're using Sam Jackson again?
Of course.
Of course.
Of course.
good.
We're,
And we
we're
know- and we
even
know he
putting
won't
Mr.
say
Incredible
no.
back in there because it's his best mate. It's his muckery.
There's a pattern emerging with all our prequels. It's the same actors.
He has got a well-documented rivalry with Downburst. And it's like a love triangle between them two and
Oh.
some sexy mamacita called Blazestone.
Jeez,
Wow.
you've gone deep here.
That is harsh. Yeah, that's big.
It would be a love triangle. Yeah, because there's a nice little thing where Blazestone's fire and he's ice, and it's like, oh, fire and ice. Oh, the relationship's gone hot and cold. Ha 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 ha. Kids will love that.
Writes itself. Absolutely.
Yeah.
She's a hot chick.
Yeah. Boom.
He's a cool dude.
Hope she's not an ice queen. Oh. Yeah.
Everybody, chill. Wrong film.
Let's put this on ice.
He also tried to represent his country in the Olympics, but because of his super abilities, the Winter
skating?
Olympics, that is,
Ice skating?
Subchecking.
he was turned down. So we'll show all that. We'll show all that. This could be the new Black Panther.
It could be. Wow.
Sure.
Oh, yeah.
Why not?
Absolutely. Just,
Wakanda until Frozone.
yes. Just don't let Antoine Fuqua fucking direct it. Anyway.
All right. Very good. Our number 4 to counter the. What did you call it again? What would that be called?
Oh, Frozone.
Just Frozone.
Frozone.
Frozone the movie.
Just Frozone.
Just Frozone.
Stuck in the Frozone.
Nice.
Stuck in the Frozone.
Nice.
Nice. Our number 4 is we both had this on our list, so this is one of the two that we both came up with, and we called it different things. Wayne wanted to call it the John Wick the early years. I wanted to call it John Wick Begins.
Which is probably better.
A
John
young
Wick Begins is good.
John Wick
The early
rise
years.
to the top of the assassin world. Sorry, what was that?
John Wick, the early years. Just
Smallville, but John Wick.
what was that one Boy Meets World?
Boy, this world. Yeah, Wayne. At one point, Wayne might have said "lighting the wick" or some shit.
Yeah, it's John's Wick.
nice.
Something like that.
That's good. That's the tagline.
Yeah.
Yes.
Right, the Wick.
You light the wick. That's it.
You like the wick, but the fire burns forever.
Yeah.
Oh, this is getting good.
This is getting all right. I'm telling you, man. There's a pitch in here somewhere.
Yeah, I think there is.
Well, please, give us
Anyway,
yours, Spot.
So, how he rises to the top of the assassin world, how he becomes the most feared assassin that there is, hitman that he is, and even right down to his use of the pencil. We get to see the original one where he killed 5 dudes with a pencil, all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
He obviously, I thought he would help out Ian McShane's manager along the way, and that's how they've got this sort of slightly more friendly relationship that he utilizes at the end of the second film. And yeah, we also realize how ruthless the council can be. Maybe they off his mentor or his...
Plus absolutely.
Yep.
Plus they make reference to the impossible task that he had to complete.
That's right.
And
Yes.
maybe we see the fucking impossible
how
task.
we got out of in the original
Nice.
before the first one.
That's
Yeah.
good.
Yeah.
And no dogs die in this one.
Sure, I'm okay with that.
Perfect.
Bonus.
But
Right.
stop killing John Wick shit. That's a lesson that I think should have
That's
been
right.
established in earlier films.
That's right.
but-
Don't fuck with his car. Don't
killing
fuck
his
with his dog. Exactly.
Yeah. And of course, the third one is coming. We're about 3.5 months away from the third one.
Parabellum.
Yeah,
Yes.
looking forward to that.
All right.
All right.
Boom.
That's good. I enjoyed that. I'd watch that. I would definitely watch. Still Keanu Reeves?
No. We got to recast him.
Yeah, we
Look,
went
he looks-
slightly more realistic.
he looks great, but his old ass
If
is
we
old.
adopt the Master Debater's perspective, then definitely still Keanu Reeves.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Still Keanu Reeves.
Yeah.
Like, if I was to
mate.
do a prequel to, like, even if I did a prequel to
going
Commando,
with their
I'd
perspective
still cast
forward.
Arnie.
Okay, fair enough.
Yeah, prequel to Commando, Arnie still
Maybe,
playing a
maybe
21-year-old.
it starts with him being old and he flashes back to the young guy. Like that.
Yeah,
That could work.
Right.
That'll work.
Wrong. Right, so our number 3.
I'm very pleased with
We
this
are very
one.
pleased with this one. In fact, the last 3 we come to, we're all quite pleased with. We all love Christmas films, don't we?
Sure.
All of us do.
Sure.
And I'm sure our memories of our early years go back to a time in Chicago where a little boy defended his home from 2 dastardly villains.
Yes.
But where did those villains come from? And that's the question we're going to ask in
Okay.
Harry and Marv Escape from Prison.
Boom.
Wait, I don't know the movie. Tell me
A
the
Home
movie.
Alone story.
Oh, fuck.
Home Alone.
So at the end of Home Alone, the
Daniel.
wet bandits get arrested and
Yeah.
taken to jail.
And become the Sticky Bandits.
Yeah, we'll find out. Well,
We'll
Yeah.
find out how, yes.
It's prison,
In
so we can only
let's be
imagine.
There
careful.
was a pretty good business. It's going to be gappy, yeah.
yeah. And Home Alone 2, they escape from prison. So these two cannot defeat an 8-year-old. So how the fuck did they get out of prison?
Well, we're never going to find out.
Now we're going to find out. They escaped during a riot, so we're going to find out. Did they start the riot? What were they like in prison? Was Marv a little bitch? Was he dropping the soap?
We said that it's going to come in like 2 acts. So the first act would be Harry and Marv reminiscing on their time before they met each other and how they became the wet bandits and became criminals.
Like Dumber and Dumberer,
Not
but
Dumber
like
and
not
Dumberer,
shit.
But not shit yet. Then the second act would be them escaping from prison. And like Prison Break, like Harry would have the prison tattooed on him
Yeah.
to escape, but it's the wrong prison.
Oh.
You know, etc., etc. And then they would
Well,
get out
it's-
and they'd say, right, where are we going to go? How about
Yeah.
New York? New York sounds good.
Yeah.
We want to see now snot our kids in New York.
Yeah.
And they'll laugh for a second, and someone said, well, maybe you should buy a gun. Yeah, I'll buy a gun. And that's
Fade
it. And that's
to
how it's going to
black.
finish.
Nice.
Now,
So,
do we
Harry and Marv?
is Macaulay Culkin in this at all? I know they're not using him right now.
No,
but
they're definitely casting him again.
really?
All the original actors.
Joe Pesci looks younger now than he did then.
All the original
Have you
actors.
seen Joe Pesci
Okay.
now?
I have not, no. I have not.
Fucking hell, he looks younger now. He's got a lovely black
Daniel
beard.
Stern's still alive.
I don't actually
But
know.
you're telling me you don't want to see Harry and Marv defending themselves against a prison gang?
If we make it
walking around
R-rated,
the height
we've got
difference
something here. If there's a fucking soap in a sock, that could work.
Yeah. Just Harry beating the shit out of people, Goodfellas style.
That's
Still
right, Harry.
Very nice.
That's
That's a solid
that
number
could
3.
very well
solid
happen.
number 3. All right, our number 3 then is my idea, which
Fourth
Wayne
one.
kind of got behind, and it involves someone that you've already sort of recast and in a big film. It's Kurt Russell again,
Yes.
except we want to go back to where Jack Burton made his bones. How did
Nice.
Jack Burton become such a cocky a-hole in Big Trouble in Little China?
He's a male.
What the...
Don't assume his gender.
What other misadventures did he get up to before the events of Big Trouble? Obviously, how did he become friends with Wang? And
How did that guy go through life with a name like Wang? In America?
Probably why he's so good at martial arts.
That's right, that's
yes,
right.
there was only one option for Wang.
Yeah,
One
he's
option.
There's
to
only
fight.
ever an option from the Wang.
And we would just cast, unlike what you guys are doing, we would let Wyatt Russell, Kurt Russell's son, play him in this prequel.
Ah!
Yeah.
Oh,
And we'd see him kicking some strange mythical beast ass, maybe Mexican werewolves, and
Chupacabra,
alongside
yeah.
a new Wang, maybe Henry, maybe Henry Golding, the dude from Crazy Rich Asians.
You go there, and
Okay.
yeah, it's now a different movie. Now it's like fucking Lethal Weapon 2.
I'm all right with that.
You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
Yeah.
Except again, still Wang is the hero, and Jack Burton is still the sidekick,
But
just
he
not
doesn't know
realizing
it,
it. Yes.
which is just great. Now, who doesn't like 80s movies again? Was it you, Toffa?
Yeah, it was tougher.
yeah. I don't mind this film.
Oh, thank God!
Nice one. They're
I
back.
don't mind this
They're
film.
back.
Yeah.
Don't mind it.
I like Kurt Russell though. I'm a sucker for a Kurt. Like I love Tango and Cash.
God,
Yes,
Tango Cat
Tango
was
Cat's
so
awesome.
good. All right. So, yes. That was our number 3.
Three,
What?
back to you for
Is
2.
your number
It's a
two?
solid 3.
like
Solid 3.
Thank you.
Our number 2, we've gone quite classic, really.
This
in
was
a sense.
all short.
This is all me, by the way, this one. Darth Vader is one of my favourite characters in the entire universe. Now, I want to talk about the dangers of oversaturation, because there's so many Star Wars films coming out that I would not give a shit, apart from Ewan McGregor doing an Obi-Wan film, which I would see. I would walk in bare feet to Dundee. to watch.
That's a great reference.
It's a great Alan
That's a
Partridge
great
reference. But yeah, I'd love to see a Vader film. So in between Order 66 and Vader being put in losing the duel to Obi-Wan, and then eventually, where we see him again in technically Rogue One now. Yeah. But I'd love to see his next move. The graphic novels do a good job really of explaining that he has to hunt down the remaining Jedi, construct his own lightsaber, the internal battle between Anakin Skywalker and Darth Vader, which culminates in the graphic novels in a great scene of Anakin and Darth Vader having a mental duel against each other in Mustafar, when Darth Vader kills Anakin.
Yeah.
And finally takes on the persona. So it's
because killing a room of kids isn't enough to turn you to the dark side.
No, apparently you can come back on that. As long as you say you're sorry, you're all right.
I don't know. Kevin Spacey did a lot less, and he ain't coming back.
But Kevin Spacey's nowhere near as cool as Darth Vader. That's the thing. So.
Also true.
But I'd love to see it. I mean, there's a great scene as well in the graphic novels where an entire squadron of rebels surround Darth Vader, and they're all you are completely surrounded. Put down your lightsaber, and prepare to be taken into custody. And Darth Vader says, quite cool as he ignites his lightsaber, "Is all I'm surrounded by is fear and dead men."
Oh,
and
God,
it cuts away. It cuts away to another scene where someone else is doing something. And then after a few pages, it cuts back to Darth Vader, stood in the same spot, but all the ships and all the people around him are dead. Everything's just destroyed around him. And I'd love to see what
actually happened.
Basically, that scene in Rogue One,
but
for 90 minutes.
Yeah.
2 to 2 hours. Just constant, No, I'd watch. I'd love that. Anything with Darth Vader in, I'd watch.
Sure.
I'd see the shit out of that too.
Yep. Very nice. Nice work. Well done, Sean.
Comprehensive.
Thank you.
All right. How to?
All right. Our 2 is, let me see.
Another common one between Wayne and I.
Yes. This movie.
We're going to end with the title.
Yeah, we are.
I think the title sells it.
Okay. It is a retelling. Sorry. It is it is the beginning of Inigo Montoya from fucking The Princess Bride.
Which, of course, Toffa hates.
Toffa hates. All right. Now, remember,
I've never seen it.
Wow.
I'm sure I won't like it, though.
No, I'll tell you this, right? In this movie, Inigo Montoya is a king dingaling fucking swordsman, right? And he just busts caps all over the place. He's got a backstory where some guy killed his father. He, as a child, challenged the guy. The guy cut little things in his fucking cheek and said, "Fuck you." And then he dedicated his life to the sword.
To the study of fencing.
So that then he can meet the guy again and fuck him in the ass. Now, if we...
I mean, I am in.
Yeah, I'm saying, all right? He's a side character, by the way, all right? So we're thinking we do his whole journey from when that shit happened with the dad thing, and then he went and learned from the masters around the world, because it's like back in the day, about shit, to him meeting Andre the Giant. Yeah, Andre the Giant's in this movie. And Vicini.
Nice.
That's going to be difficult.
That's going to be a bit difficult.
That part will be difficult.
I'll CGI the shit out of
Big Show.
it.
Show to play him. Yeah, it's going to be Paul White.
That's the Big Show.
Yep, someone like that.
For a wrestling fan, they'll enjoy that.
Oh, yeah, another wrestler. That's the shit. So this movie is called...
Prepare to Die, The Chronicles of Inigo Montoya.
Yeah. Now, Toffa, you won't get that, but he says...
I know of the scene, yeah, I know, yeah.
I've got a confession to make. I know of the scene, I know of the character, and I know he goes on to play the leader of the CIA covert ops in Homeland.
Homeland, yep.
But I have not seen the film.
You should give it a try.
I hesitate to recommend it now to people who haven't watched it in its heyday.
There's a lot of Fred Savage at the beginning and stuff. But I know, all that
a lot
is
of
wicked.
Fred Savage.
There's a bit of it.
There is
It's just happening. That happens, man. In fact, Once Upon a
Is this a film I
Deadpool.
could watch with my kid?
Absolutely.
Yes. How old's your boy now, Tom?
He's 5.
Yeah, I haven't. Yeah, I'd be okay with showing my daughter this
5's
film.
fine, man.
Yep.
I mean, I'm not a parent. I don't fucking know. But yeah.
Yeah. My kids watch some dark shit, mate. Don't worry about it. He's already fucked up.
Yeah. I reckon if they've seen Star Wars, then this is no worse than
Yeah.
Yep.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Cool.
Mate, number one.
Here we are. Give us your 10 through 2. Give us your quick recap of the 10 through 2, and then give us your number 1.
Okay, so coming in strong at number 10 was the Pulp Fiction prequel about John Travolta in France.
Yep.
We're doing all of them, sorry.
You know what, mate? Yeah, fuck it.
Number 9 was a gangster film starring Pennywise. 8
Mm-hmm.
was a film about Sex Machine titled Sex Machine.
Sex Machine.
Number 7 was Pliskin. That's the tale of Kurt Russell.
Nice.
Number 6, Beetlejuice. Number 5, Stuck in the Frozone. Number 4 was The Matrix Unreloaded.
Have we got them the other way around?
I think we got the wrong way around, actually. Yeah, sorry. I think Matrix was 5 and Pliskin was... Frozone was 4.
Yeah.
Apologies. Number 3 was Harry and Marv, Escape from Prison.
Mm-hmm.
Number 2 was just simply titled Vader.
Nice.
And number 1...
Number 1 is titled The Overlook.
Oh, Stephen King again, yes.
Yeah. Now, this ideally would work better as a Netflix series.
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, because the Overlook Hotel, we're talking about The Shining, obviously. The history, that's another one of Stephen King's where the film comes out based on the book and it doesn't use everything in the book, or it just hints on it. Like in the film, there's a weird dog blowjob scene. And in the book, that dog man does a lot more than just suck someone off.
Yep.
Really?
But like, you could show the early history of when the hotel was built in the early 1900s. Obviously, what happened to the family that built the hotel?
Yeah,
they all
nice.
died. Accidents happened, and it's assumed that it was because of the hotel. And then you can show what happened in the presidential suite with the gangland executions again. You got the Grady murders, where he murders his daughters.
Ooh.
It's rich.
Supernatural.
Yeah. Rich lore.
You got you got the hedge animals. You've got the lady in 217. There's so much you can explore that if this was like an episode by episode basis, I think this would be brilliant.
So Castle Rock isn't like this, yeah?
Castle
I've never-
Rock's
I've
much
not seen
more
it.
than
okay.
The Overlook. Yeah, it's all of Stephen King's sort of
Alright.
works woven in.
Nice.
All
All
right.
right.
Focus solely on the Overlook, and I think the history of the
There's
actual
enough there,
hotel.
isn't there, to
There's
make a
enough
film?
there. It'd be like a supernatural, dark ass series that just better. It just
Yeah, you can have an
I think this-
episode
this-
each
Yeah.
week. Yep. I like it. Very
That's
nice.
very
Who
good.
doesn't
That's
want to? Who doesn't want to see a dad go mental and kill his twin daughters? Who doesn't want
Who
to see
didn't want to
that?
see that? I'd watch that.
It's already been popular.
If not just for notes.
Oh.
Oh, that's off.
Very dark.
Just for note, I'm not planning on killing my children or my partner.
Just to be
for any
clear.
authority
Just to be
listening, yeah.
clear.
Oh, you parents are some nasty motherfuckers.
I mean, I thought about it, but I'm not planning on doing it. So.
All right, then. Our 10 through 2 then, and then Wayne will reveal our number 1. At number 10, The Karate Kid prequel about Mr. Miyagi. 9, Leon the Professional, The Early Years. 8, the Jim/James Bond prequel.
Jim.
7, Edge of Yesterday,
Nice one.
the prequel to Edge of Tomorrow. The Jaws prequel following Quint on the USS Indianapolis. Number 5, Collateral prequel following Vincent apparently in a cab the whole time.
Primary.
Again. Primary unit. John Wick Begins at number 4. The Jack Burton prequel to Big Trouble in Little China at number 3. And number 2, Prepare to Die, The Chronicles of Inigo Montoya's. And our number 1, Wayne.
Our number 1 is a bit of an amalgamation of ones that me and Paul went to. Now, it is a Pulp Fiction sequel, but
Ooh.
yeah, but it's not. It's focusing. My version was focusing on the wolf.
Yes.
Okay.
Winston.
Oh!
Yeah.
Okay, sorry. Go on.
Yep, because the wolf is the shit. How did he get to be the ultimate fixer? Can you imagine the Tarantino-esque jobs this cracker has to do? Climb his way up the underworld, he meets people, this and that. Now, Paul had more like your thing, where it was the Vega brothers.
Yeah, I wanted to do the Vega Brothers prequel. So Michael Madsen and John Travolta.
And
Yeah.
then, because it had, the Vega brothers and the wolf in it,
Yep.
we would call it Vega Wolf.
Yep.
The Vega Wolf is coming. Your mother loves my penis. Yeah, that's right.
Wait, the Venga Boys got to Australia.
You know what I'm saying? By the way,
they?
they were in Perth 2 nights ago. Venga Boys.
What?
I'm not kidding.
Boom, boom,
Yeah,
boom.
them. And you know who else? Fucking Bewitched. Them. Motherfuckers.
shit.
I'm not kidding. I'm not
Bewitched
kidding.
were dope.
I fucking heard him. Aqua was there, man. Forget about
Aqua.
it. Lenny from
It's
Aqua was
it's all my 90s childhood, that is.
Yeah?
You should have been there, guys. You should have been there.
Love it.
So there it is. That's our number 1. And with a side order of some dodgy bands to go with it.
Did you guys have any honorable mentions?
Briefly,
We
just very
did.
quickly.
So yeah, our number 11 was bang on exactly what you said. It was a prequel to The Wolf. We had that.
We took it out this morning.
Just because we didn't think Harvey Keitel would do it. That's the only reason. He's
not in cars.
It's like that's bothered any of your other choices. But anyway.
Because we think they'd do it.
He's busy doing adverts anyway.
He's been doing adverts, yeah. That could be the full culmination, the prequel of how he went from being a professional cleaner to selling car insurance.
Yeah.
The other ones we had was a prequel, to Django Unchained, following Dr. Schultz.
Yeah,
the dentist.
That's good.
Nice.
A prequel to A Quiet Place.
Yep.
About how they came about.
That's not
I wanted to do Maui.
A Maui prequel. So a prequel
Maui?
to Moana.
Oh, okay.
Who's Maui?
And the last one was the Lost Boys, with
okay.
a prequel to the
Play
Lost
the Rock's
Boys.
character. And the Lost
Yeah.
Boys. Okay, nice.
Yes.
Jeez, that's all right.
Wayne, anything?
Just the Passions of the Christ. No, nothing. We
Nice.
Happy long life of Jesus.
Jesus fella's got a good story to tell.
We had a couple. We had True Lies, the early missions following Arnold Schwarzenegger's Harry Tasker becoming the kick-ass operative that he was. We had the sequel or the prequel to the 40-year-old version, which I called the 21-year-old version, in which basically, a younger Steve Carell fails to get any pussy whatsoever, and
For 20 years.
Yeah, and all his mates shit on him non-stop until they realise we have to stop being pricks.
Which is what happens when you're 21.
Yes, right.
If you crash and burn and don't get pussy, and then the boys hear about it, you're fucked up.
Yep.
Right? So-
And then lastly, a prequel to Seven. With acknowledging the Spacey staying.
Six.
Yes, I call it Seven: The Trial Run, and in this film, a much younger version of the killer, played by a much younger version of Kevin Spacey, because he doesn't have to be recast for obvious reasons.
I'll secede on that point.
Yep. He goes about an elaborate trial run towards his ultimate crimes, as shown in Seven. This time around, he's killing 7 people according to the names of the 7 dwarves.
That is actually brilliant.
He's on the train and someone's...
Yeah. Yeah, you're far too happy, mate.
Look at that sleepy cunt on the train. He's gone
Just
down.
sneeze, motherfucker.
He wants to go to the doctor. Yeah, it's all over. It's all...
He just kill his own doctor.
Two birds, one stone. Take the sneezing person.
Yeah,
to
if his doctor sneezes, boom.
2 in 1.
Oh, look out. He's
Go
got
home
no
early that
chance.
day.
No chance at all. They are our list, and that is the Masturbators list. What did you think? Who got it right? Let us know. Obviously, this week, the vote will be up in our Facebook listener community, so we're anticipating, Toffa, you will get Sean to join the group so that you'll get at least 2 votes.
We'd like to take this opportunity to congratulate you on your victory.
It's good. Play
Never
the,
know, you never know, man.
It's always difficult to know how this is going to work out. All right, then, let's move on to the last part of the show, the listener feedback for what they have to say in a segment that we call the Pop 10. Talk about. Pop 10. Talk about. Pop 10. Kicking off this week's Pop 10 with David Powell, a new top-level patron of the show. Thank you, David, for
DP.
getting on at that level. Here is what he had to say. Adventure on the high seas. Follow Wesley from the point he left Buttercup through his time with Roberts.
Excellent.
Through learning piracy, inheriting the Roberts mantle, which will end with him learning of Buttercup's impending marriage and vowing to return and get her back. He is, of course, also talking about Princess Bride, which is why you guys are like, what the fuck is this guy talking about?
Yeah.
Yep. No.
I bet it's a brilliant film.
You should watch it.
I think you like
I think
it.
you're just going to go in with tempered expectations, unlike the way we're talking
Get
about
high.
From Joy DiCarlo, good friend from the So Wizard podcast, a fake gun, a mistake, a lifetime of regret. This is Sergeant Powell, a Die Hard story.
Ooh. This is following Carl from fucking
Yeah.
Family Matters.
That's it. Yep.
Wow. All right.
I like that one. Quite like that one. From Dylan Miles and the Welcome to Planet Bob podcast. Film is called The Most Triumphant Tale of Rufus. And it's about Rufus's first time travel mission, wherein he's thwarting an attempt to kill Bill and Ted after the Battle of the Bands, but before they release their first world-changing album.
Who the fuck is Rufus?
From Bill and Ted.
George Carlin, man.
George Carlin.
Who the fuck is Rufus?
Oh, I'm sorry. You know what?
Yes.
I actually don't... I've seen like one of those movies and I don't remember it.
Oh.
Oh,
I know.
You can't handle the truth.
Fuck you, penis envy.
better than George.
Well, let's not get ahead of ourselves, shall we?
From Jeff from the Cadavercast podcast, everybody loves Casablanca, right? So in this prequel, Rick's got just 1 week to raise the money for the location for Rick's Cafe, and he does it Magic Mike style stripping.
Fuck. Humphrey Bogart dick on the camera. I don't know.
I used to watch this. Podcast said, Young Terminator, the story of a young hulking man who goes to war, comes back a hero, then is ripped away from his family by a secret organization to become the model for the fighting machine we all know. Needs some work.
Yeah, I wouldn't
Still
watch that
played by
one.
Arnold Schwarzenegger.
Still played by Arnold Schwarzenegger.
This is from James Spence, another good friend and patron to the show. What if Hannibal Lecter was 8 years old?
I mean,
That's just weird. If he goes on cutting motherfuckers up when he's 8 years old, that's just Chucky.
Wasn't there a prequel where he was 8?
yeah, not when he was 8, though.
Yet his
No, no.
sister?
Didn't he kill his mom and dad?
Was there a flashback to that
No,
early?
the soldiers took them hostage and they cooked his sister and fed him to her. Fed her to him, sorry.
Oh.
Damn, that is
does
fuck.
ring some
I ain't
bells.
watching that motherfucker neither.
Yeah, Hannibal Rising.
Hannibal Rising.
Hannibal Rising.
Yeah.
Yeah, you might be right. I think you're right.
Oh,
okay.
God.
No, yeah, well played, Sean.
Well done.
Thank you, James. From the Real Feels podcast, this is from Drew from the show. I just want to say a quick shout out to Drew. I'll put this link in the show notes. Drew is a podcaster who had all his shit stolen from his house.
Motherfucking thief,
Lost
motherfucker.
all his podcasting equipment and basically, somewhere in the order of $1,500 or whatever to replace. So there's a GoFundMe page. I'm going to put the link in the show notes. If you've got $1 or $2 to spare, send it Drew's way. I think he was about 60% of the way back to getting enough money to get back on board and recording. It's awful. Anyway,
Get Geico-san.
here is his idea for a prequel. I want to know who wrote The Neverending Story. Is the book passed down from keeper to keeper? Is Carl Conrad Coriander immortal? Has Fantasia ever needed such heroes like Atreyu before? Who ruled Fantasia before the childlike empress?
What about the big white dog that he flew on?
Yeah.
I like that shit. If he's in there, I'm in. Falcor. I'm in that shit.
Yeah. Well, that was a pretty good one. Thank you, that Joe, and I hope you're back on board recording soon. This is exactly what you guys just said. So this is from Justin from the So I Made a Movie Geek podcast. I want a prequel that shows how A Quiet Place, became A Quiet Place.
There you go. Like these guys say.
Plus, I want it to be super duper R-rated too.
Really?
Thank you. Yeah.
Okay. All right.
So, yeah.
There's less toddlers being eaten, please, because that really will hurt me.
The Jeff and Dan show said a prequel to The Long Kiss Goodnight, where we see how Mitch, i.e. Samuel L. Jackson, went from hood to private dick. Charlie Baltimore
film.
becomes the most awesome assassin, and Timothy, Mount Craig Burko, becomes the biggest villain, and their paths cross, leading to Charlie's amnesia. That's pretty good.
That is a great film. I have not seen that film, and I'm writing that film down now to rewatch because I've
Well
been
worth
That's
it.
a
for
great
such a long
film.
time.
Great film.
Very good one. Mario on the bar said Miyagi and Sato, the story of a teenage Miyagi growing up in Okinawa,
What up, dog?
training to be the original Karate Kid with his best friend Sato. You can see how reckless Miyagi was and how he grew up to be the wise master to Daniel. So very similar to what you were tapping
Not bad at all.
into there. This one's very funny from Chris from the Green Korean or the Faces and Aces podcast. I want to see the prequel that justifies the nanny's horrific death in Jurassic World. So that the woman, the nanny of the kids is running along, gets picked up by the pterodactyl, I think, and taken away into the sky.
Short film, really.
I'm going to wrap it up with what I think is arguably the best one from Brentley Oliver. He's a good friend to the show. First of all, Morpheus, he said prequel to The Matrix.
Yep.
There you go,
Guys.
guys. It's how Morpheus recruits Trinity in his world. But then here is the one that really blew my mind. The Andy story, a prequel to Toy Story. It's about when Andy first got Woody to help him through his parents' divorce.
That sounds a little fucking depressing,
That's
son.
brilliant.
I don't know, man.
Sounds dark, though.
I
Sounds
know.
dark.
It's a dark one.
I love it. I think that's just
Who's
spot
watching?
on.
You're not watching. You're not letting a kid watch that.
Yeah,
This is what happens if we fucking die. You know.
I watched
Started Inside Out.
Well, I watched a film the other day, Next Gen, on Netflix, and that has the very first scene is dad walking out on mum and daughter being an angry, unhappy child as a result.
God damn.
And so I think modern day kids are up for this shit.
Okay, man. Well, I wouldn't know. So yeah, all right.
There's some great choices all around. That is a list of feedback. Apart from just a couple of things to wrap up. First of all, I meant to give credit last week. Episode 200, the idea came from Paul Jones. Listen to the show. Thank you, Paul, in terms of how we might structure and do an episode 200. And also, I need to do a little bit of a check-in here in terms of a film watching challenge that we have going. Daniel from the IMDb Journey podcast and I'm very proud to say that right at this point in time, despite all the shit giving I've been copying from Daniel, that he's going to win. Daniel has watched 42 films to this point of the year.
And you have watched how
I've watched
many?
46. So,
Fuck's sake. I thought I was doing well. I've watched 26.
Toffa, I think you're involved in the list in the competition. Well, there's a few other listeners. I'm not winning. Blake Jarvis, I think, has well over 50.
That's more than one a day.
And ATN has well over 60 films at this point. I'm putting ATN's score down to he lives in even colder weather than Toffa and Sean, and he just has nothing else he can do. He's probably snowed in. He can't leave his house, so he's just watching film after film.
If Wilt Chamberlain joins this fucking, this is
That's an obscure reference.
obscure reference to a bus.
To how many women he slept with
Yeah,
per
a
day.
basketballer said he had 20,000 sexual experiences in a year.
No, it was worked out to be something like 3 a day.
Yeah,
so
you
whatever
can't
that
fuck
worked
3
out to
times a day.
be. Over 5 years.
Well,
or
I
some
can't.
shit.
How old is he?
No, I can't. No.
No way, right?
18-year-old me, maybe.
Even
not
if you're fucking
13-year-old.
18, maybe, but for, I don't know.
Anyway, looking forward. Well, that challenge will continue through the year, so we'll see whether Toffa can make up some ground as we progress.
I thought I was doing very well.
You guys are amazing.
All right, that is it for today's show. It's been an absolute blast, a pleasure. Well, I think we've got some great ideas here. Hollywood, come knocking if you want to
just
buy
call
the
it
intellectual property off either show. Gentlemen, how can our listeners find you guys and check out what's happening at the Master Debaters?
Well, hopefully by the time this episode drops, we've got all of our ducks in a row. You can find us at the... I fucked it up already. At themasterdebaters.com.
Wow.
Or
If that doesn't work,
if that's not available, we'll be going to
Just in case.
just in case.
it was when we last checked.
themasterdebaterspodcast.com.
One word.
Yes.
Got it.
We're finding
Got it.
that. You can find us on Twitter at @masterdebaters.
Yeah.
You can follow me personally on Twitter at lawfulgoodsean.
Yeah, but go on our Facebook and watch our videos. People
Yes.
seem to enjoy them. And just share it with your friends. It'd be lovely.
That's fun.
Good stuff.
Good stuff.
Some very funny stuff. At what was the latest Comic Con you went to?
I love those ones.
Oh, we love doing them. It's just really awkward.
Yeah,
I know. People go, what the
People-
fuck is this? It's hilarious.
The last one we did, people were very salty.
Yeah.
Really?
We got a bit of aggression. We asked people stuff, and they were just flat out blank stared at us until,
Yeah.
candy for you.
Just back away now.
You guys risking your
Reveal
lives and
dark
shit for
shit.
comedy. I love it.
So we might get stabbed one day. but,
Yeah,
you know.
probably. But if anything, that
You get it on film.
Good
Yeah, at least it'll be on
publicity,
camera.
isn't it? Yeah.
All right.
Nice.
Wayne, how do listeners get back in touch with us with their choices for each
You mean
week's topic?
Hollywood? Yeah, Hollywood. Just Google the Countdown Movie and TV Reviews podcast. You can find us on Facebook. You can find us on, wherever else. But you can email us at thecountdownpodcast@gmail.com.
We're on Twitter at the Countdown PC. You can find the Facebook Listener Community link in the show notes. And that's the main ways to get in touch with us. Thank you, Sean. Thank you, Toffa, for coming on today.
Thanks, fellas.
Really appreciate your time. It's been a pleasure.
Thank you
Thanks
for having
for
us.
having us.
We've really enjoyed it. It's been an absolute blast. It was funny enough just going through our list, but listening to your guys as well. We've really enjoyed it. Thank you.
Thank
very
you,
much.
man.
Do check out the Master Debaters. It's a hell of a lot of fun. And that is it for us today. My name is Paul.
My name is Wayne.
Jawsy shit. And my name is Toffa.
I apologise. My name is Sean.
And this, of course, has been the soundboard.
What? No.
You put an effect on it, you fucking
I did.
rectal thermometer.
We'll catch you next week.
Yeah.